Hello everyone, my name is Alec Cartio. I'm the founder of Cartiology. Today we are going to be presenting to you a Mercedes-Benz 280SL W113 automatic car, silver on black. I won't be talking too much about the car myself, however, the enthusiast owner, my friend and client, Mr. Glenn Muir, will be with us on camera via FaceTime and iPhone to speak about his love for cars, passion for cars, the Mercedes W113, and tell you all about this car and everything you need to know. So with that, I'll leave you to meet him and enjoy the ride with this car. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. My name is Alec Cartio with Cartiology. Hi Glenn, how are you, my friend?
Doing great. How are you, Alec?
Great, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to become your friend first and foremost, and then get to represent your beautiful Pagoda. Glenn, take us back to your before age 66 days, when you were younger, in your youth, when you started falling in love with cars. Tell us briefly about your love affair with cars.
Well, I can tell you that I've always loved Pagodas, and my first one I had around age 30. And it was one of those $10,000 cars that looked great, but it had a million issues. And the core issue, of course, on these is rust. And you realize that if you have one that's rusty, it's not feasible to fix it unless you want to do a full restoration. So the next one I purchased, same thing. It was a good deal. It was a driver. It was rusty. And the third one, pretty much the same. The fourth one I bought fully restored, and I kept it for several years until the Great Recession. Then it had to go. So after bouncing back from the recession, I wanted to have another one. I wanted to have the best. I wanted an original that had no rust. This one popped up on Bring a Trailer. Good color and good history, and a car from the Northwest. And the Northwest, as I understand, is the best place to buy a vintage car, obviously because of no rust, but it's not hot, so your car hasn't baked. The plastic parts, the rubber parts haven't cooked. So this popped up, and it was a fit, and paid a premium for it, and was glad to, knowing from experience that if you pay for a really nice car, in the end you come out better off than trying to buy one that needs a whole lot of work. So I had the car shipped straight from Oregon or Washington, I guess, to Maine, to SL Tech. Gernald Nicias is the owner of that business. He's also the mechanic. He does everything, and he only works on Pagodas. He went over mine with a fine-tooth comb. He found several issues that needed attention, mainly due to age of the car and the fact that it had never really been sorted. $35,000 later, we ended up with a solid car. Last year I took it on a road race in the mountains of North Carolina. Did really well, handles well, performs well. Just a solid car. And now I am to a point where I've got a few too many cars, and garage space is an issue, and this one is just time for it to go. A friend went to college at Auburn University in Alabama, and I visited, and one of his professors had a white Pagoda with the top down, and it just looked so sexy. And I thought then I had to have one. So, 6-8 years later, I had my first one. And the reason I love that car is it's a great size. It's the lines are great. It's new enough to perform well. It's not a clunky old antique car. You can have fun with it. And the other reason is they hold their value so well. I've made money on every one I've owned. This one might be an exception, but hey, I wanted this car to be 100%.
And it sure is. I've showed it to a few shops that I've taken it to in the past few months. I've had it and they all immediately fell in love with it. How well it drives, how well it looks, how well refreshed or restored, if you will, it is. And especially Don at DDK Motors was praising it a lot yesterday, in fact. And I've driven it quite a bit myself from between all these shops. Mind you that I've done a little bit of work myself here, between dry ice cleaning, the wiper that was kind of stuck a little bit, which we fixed. There was one of the fuel hoses needed to be changed because it was smelling a little bit of fuel. We had that changed, and there was a rattle in the steering wheel, which Don fixed. All of that was fixed. So I was going back and forth between multiple shops, and on the freeway, regular roads. I actually took it excuse me, took it to Supercar Sunday on my way to Don's shop, because him and I arranged to get the shop before he leaves for Australia on Sunday. And everybody, they gave me a special place at Supercar Sunday. Immediately when I pulled in, they pulled a few cones and put it around it so that you get a special place.
Well, the car makes a statement. You could spend $200,000 on a Ferrari, and basically, a lot of people can own a Ferrari. A lot of people do. This is a statement of, I don't know, understated elegance. It's a different caliber type vehicle. It's not someone trying to impress others. It's someone who appreciates quality and appreciates the styling, the way the cars were made back then. Some say by hand. I'm not sure if that's really true, but it was a different process back then. Oh, yeah. One more comment that I forgot to make about Gernald. He has a jig to align convertible tops. A problem with these cars, a lot of times the tops get torqued. The wrong person will put the top down and they'll jam it. And over time it gets torqued and bent and it doesn't work right. So he is maybe one of only a few people in the world who has a special jig. And he takes these frames, he takes the top off with the frame and he puts it in his jig and he aligns it. When he puts it back in the car, it's factory correct. It's to factory specs. And he also put a new top on the car at the same time. So that is something very important for Pagodas.
Absolutely. We have photos of that resto, and it's in the listing, as well as I'm one of the very few who actually likes to drive these cars without the tops, because that's when they, in my opinion, they're convertibles and they feel so much better when you drive them with the top down. So I think when I was filming the driving scenes, it was with the top down. I don't remember. So I have to go back into the film and look at it.
All right.
Beautiful. So who do you want, last question, who do you want this car to go to? And hopefully, somebody it'll be a good custodian.
It's going to find the right person, because it takes a discriminating buyer to recognize that this car is, in the top 10% of the Pagodas out there. So that's going to naturally sort itself out, but it's going to be someone like myself who's had a love for those cars and who wants one that is in great condition, rather than buying a driver that needs $100,000 in work. And that sounds crazy to say, but you can easily put $100,000 in these cars.
Oh yeah, 200.
Especially with rust.
If you do a frame off, nut and bolt, a couple of $100K easily.
In Mercedes-Benz Center in Irvine, near you, you're gonna pay, I don't know, $350 for one fully restored. Of course, it's like a new car, but I think that's not really a great value compared to getting one that's in great shape, that's been sorted.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Glenn, so far it's been a pleasure working with you. You have a lot of patience. Things have taken a bit of time, but for the good reason. So in the next few days or so, you're going to see this baby go live.
Okay, I'm excited.
Great.
Thank you, Alec.
Thank you. Let me.
I know it's in good hands, and I know it's going to have the best presentation that it can possibly have. That's why when I saw your presentation, I guess a year ago, I knew you were the guy. So very excited.
Thanks so much.
Glad to be working with you.
Appreciate it. Likewise.